All right, so Amazon. Now we called out Amazon back in here, and actually we were back in here, and I was actually considering Amazon as a condor. This was the area that I was concerned with, and here's what I saw. Here's how I saw this trade set up. Let's zoom in. Now this particular day, there were other traders, other known traders out there getting short, right? My thought this entire time was Amazon has just spent so much time consolidating that if it does make a move, my thought was a move would likely be more to the upside than it would be to the downside. Why do I say that? Well, this is a clunky pattern. It's not clean, it's clunky, but I'm using it. Okay, so here's my pattern. I've got a leg here, right? That completed, right? Here's we'll call this an A leg. Now, this was maybe the start of a B, and it pulled in. But the thing is these lows never broke these lows. They tried again, right? So is this a good B point? I thought that this would be a better B point, than this would be a better B point. But if you kind of like squint your eyes and look, you've got, let me just shrink these a little bit here. If you squint your eyes and look a little bit, you've got an A, a B, a C, and the C completed. I thought the C was done here. It didn't finish until we got to here, which is where a lot of traders, I think, were getting short. And the reason why they were getting short was because it was breaking the anchored VWAP. It was breaking the 8. It was breaking the 200. It gave the look like it was going to break down. My thought has always been, I don't think that that's going to happen. And here was the other proof in the pudding, was it tried to break the 200 here and it came back. So here's another test of the 200. It didn't go and flush. So I'm thinking this is likely going to be a long. So what did we do? Started getting long. And then I think, and I don't remember the strikes, I'll have to go back and look. But what I did was I on this day, close to, somewhere in here, maybe in here off of the 8, I was putting in a spread. I think I had 3260s, and then I was selling the 3300s. And then my thought was this. My thought was, okay, I'll play those, and if I get a break of this area, then I can just go ahead and I can keep the long 3260s. I can close the 3300s short, flip to those long. So basically making it a morph, right? The 3260s, if this run was going to continue, the 3260s would have fueled the 3300s to a point to where if we challenged this area, I could have then sloughed off the 3260s and just stayed in the 3300s. Those were 2 weeks out. Instead, what happened was yesterday we had this move. It faded. And where did it fade? It faded off of here. So my thought was, okay, fine. I'll take those 3300s off up close to up in here. As it started to fade, and it didn't give me the reason to add to the to take the 3300s, and slash morph them. So I never did that. I just closed them. And then as this started to fade, I took profits on the 3260s. This morning, I wanted to see where we were going to open up, right? Because if we were going to open up below the anchored VWAP and possibly on the 8, I would have been looking at it very suspiciously as a potential, oh, we're going to break again, right? We would potentially break again. That didn't happen. I immediately saw tape. When I came in there, I was like, nope, to me, this, I've seen this, I recognize this, I see this as tape being strong. I'm jumping into this week's 3280s. So I just grabbed 3280s and we ripped. I used this area as my target. I sold those. That was I forget, 20 something point pop, right? In 11 minutes. Now, if you're the small account holder, just 1 or 2 contracts is going to make a very, very big difference to your bottom line if you catch that move. The only difference is that, you opened above where the close was, you opened above the anchored VWAP, the 8, etc. You're in an uptrend. I wasn't concerned about what SPY was doing. but it didn't hurt that we had all of that information. So all I did was jump in for the scalp, looked for this area, found this area, we got that area. I took my profit, and now all I'm looking for is a little bit of a pull. If we get a pull somewhere tomorrow, perfect. If we don't, I'll likely scalp it again. You've got a tiny little gap here. So you've got this gap up to 33.86, call it. So, tomorrow maybe they gap it open tomorrow and you don't get a shot at it. Remember what we say about gaps. 80% of the time they fill, and after they fill, 80% of the time what happens? They reverse and go the other way.